are and who you want to be and what you do and, that kind of stuff. That's what you should be judged on. Even, it's just, how can we be so ignorant in the world? And think of things like this. It's not right, and it shouldn't be right. Ever. But unfortunately, the government does little about it. They let the anti-government groups and anti-racial groups and everything. We even got neo-Nazis in the U.S. that want fascism back. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you people? And the U.S. government won't do nothing about it because, unfortunately, I do agree, under the Constitution of the United States, you can technically make a group like that. And as long as you are not really hurting other people and just, basically, as long as you protest about it, there's nothing the U.S. government can do because you are protected under the Constitution of law. Protesting, I approve protesting, as long as the protesting actually is worth something and not freaking worthless or something that won't happen or anything like that. Protests can change things. Trust and believe that. But if you're protesting about, we want whites to be more, equal in the U.S. Are you kidding me? Till this day, you people still have more rights than blacks do because people still judge the goddamn colored races, which is stupid. God. I don't really want to talk about this all goddamn night because I can talk about this all goddamn night and swear up and down a storm, which I don't even know if I'm allowed to do, but who cares? Not me, not at least. Anywho, I just think, there's got to be a clause in the Constitution of the United States saying that we technically can do something, but I doubt it. As long as you're not stealing weapons from the U.S. military or anything like that, stuff like that, or killing, civilians out of hate crimes, there's nothing we could really do. Because a protest, as long as they're peaceful, they're okay, which most of them are. And they don't really even protest. They just have their groups. They have meetings about it. I've never heard of a protest wanting to make whites back in the U.S. I've never heard of that before. But if they do, it probably hush-hush anyways, because people like that don't want their faces on the news. But, it amazes me how ignorant people can be. Just, judge people on their character, not on their race, not on their, sexual orientation, Don't be weird of their sexual orientation or even, what kind of religion. Like, I tell you what, right now, I have friends, I have a couple of friends, actually, that worship Islam. I have no problem with it. Because, for one, they're not terrorists. Background checked them before that happened, before make sure they weren't terrorists. I know that's probably not a good idea on my part, but I did because if you knew who my family was, you would want to make sure they have a background check, because our family has threats against our lives, but that's besides the point. Anywho, but yeah, I have friends that worship Islam. I have no problem about it. Hell, I mean, I'm Catholic, but I don't go to church, and I barely read the Bible. I believe in God and everything, I just don't really read the Bible, or I don't. I'm going to tell you straight up. See, I'm nothing, I hope this doesn't offend anybody by what I'm about to say. Please don't make this offend anybody. I don't mean to offend anybody. I do not believe in the church system. I really do not. it's just stuff happened. I went to many different churches over the years, and nope. See, I'd rather sit home and read the Bible and interpret it myself, because there are things that a priest will say to you that really catches my attention, and it's like, I don't think so. But I didn't want to offend anybody by saying this stuff. So, I mean, I could talk about religion all day long, no problem. I've always thought about taking religious scholarship in college. Religious scholarship in military ethics, but that's one of the things I would take in a college if I went to college, is religious scholarship. But, I'll talk about religion first. Couple of minutes. Okay. The way God interprets the Bible. Now, priests will say there's a certain way God wants you to do things. There's certain sins that, like a sin, gay is a sin in the Bible. I would love to know where that says that in the Bible, because I've been in. Now, I might be mistaken. I might have missed something in the Bible. But I have the Bible, and I look up and down that thing. There's nowhere in that Bible that says that gay is a sin. So obviously, just no offending. I don't want to offend anybody by saying this. Your priest is lying to you. And don't tell me your priest can't lie, because that is a lie, because priests lie all the time. God. The Pope lies, and he's a Catholic. He's the highest religious leader on the world. And that man lies, trust me, believe that. But, no. There are certain ways God, the priest, they study, they're like religious scholars, but they actually how do I put it? There's a school for priests and bishops and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's somewhere. I believe there's one here in the East Coast and one in the South. But one in the West, anyways, on the West Coast, and then one in the middle. But there are schools that priests go to, and they study the Bible like thoroughly. They like see through. They interpret what God thinks He wanted us to, They interpret the meanings of the Bible. Well, let me tell you something about the Bible. What if, think about this for a second. Now, what I'm about to say, everything I'm about to say about religion, I don't want to offend people. I'm a religious person to a point. Whatever. What if, for 1 second, think about this, the Bible was in somewhat way wrong? All the sins that are sins, Killing is a sin. I get that. This is one of the things I'll talk about you. There's a thing in the Bible, or it's one of the 12 commandments, I do not agree with. And I'll tell you about that in a minute, but let me get back to my thing. What if God wanted us to interpret the whole Bible differently, and the whole Bible was wrong in the first place, Let's just put a what if on that. Would we be living in a different life if we did interpret the Bible in a different way that God may have wanted us to, but we interpret it in a different way that was wrong? And what I mean by this is, what if God wanted a single nation? Now, there's nothing in there about the Bible about country. There might be. I can't remember. But out of my knowledge, there really is nothing about God wanting one country, one single nation. I know He does want peace, and He wants peace throughout the whole world. But what if the Bible said there shall be only one nation, and this one nation controls the whole world? Everybody in the world. What would priests interpret out of that? Because the Bible's riddles, okay? Because everything that was written in the Bible it's in a riddle of sorts. The only way to really know what the meaning of what some of the stuff is in the Bible is you got to study it. You got to study that one word, which I do sometimes because I'm fascinated with religion because it goes back thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. That's why it fascinates me. All right, so I'll tell you about one of the 12 commandments that really gets me going, and there's a reason why. I'm a military man. I believe in a lot of things. I'm military. Okay, my family is military, and one of the things the 12 commandments says is they shall not kill. Well, obviously, God doesn't want us to kill, okay? Now, I met priests over the years that have argued with me on this. That's why I like military priests, because they actually get it, because they're the ones who actually sit down and they really interpret it in a different way than regular priests do, because they're military priests, and military religion is a passionate thing, and it's a whole nother book. But basically, it says you can't kill no matter what. Okay. For what? How are we supposed to win a war, or even keep the peace without... Okay. Murder, manslaughter, stuff like that. Yes, I believe that. That they shall not kill. That's on the 12 commandments. But when you're talking about a soldier defending this country over in a different part of the world and has to kill to keep us free, that's a whole different story. And priests have argued with this on me. They said, you still shouldn't kill over there. There's other ways, diplomacy and everything. What if diplomacy fails? What if it fails? We tried diplomacy, and hell, we tried diplomacy on the Nazis. Look where that got us. And we did. Although that was more than... We've tried to get them together. We've done a lot of things for diplomacy, but sometimes war and killing... I don't condone killing. I really don't. But I'm going to say it anyways. Sometimes killing a person for freedom is the right thing to do when your country needs saving. See, the U.S. and North Korea we are on thin ice between a war. Now, as I'm speaking, we could be in a war any day now, any minute now, any millisecond we could be in a war. It takes one goddamn person to get jumpy and press that button. They'll launch a missile, a nuke, or even it takes Kim Jong-un to send in troops. The U.S. will not act first. The U.S. does not fire the first shot in a war. Ever. And there's a reason why. And that has to do, one of the things has to do with a religious-based. We see it as firing the first shot is an act of, an act of fear, no less. An act of, some military commanders, military priests anyways, feel that firing the first shot in war isn't a sin under the Bible. Because there's a military Bible. There's a thing called a military Bible. It's interesting how it works out. I believe you can look it up. A military Bible, what the priests read from. You can probably look it up online. Somewhere it's got to be on there. It may not. But anyways, like I was saying, religion is a very deep emotion within a person, and within a community, society, or even a nation. I mean, look at the U.S. We have what? We have Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, Christians, Catholics, Islamic. We have them all here. And then there's some I can't pronounce, there are some that I forget the name of. Taoism people are here. You have them all. Because this country is built on that. We were built on immigration, religion, cultural diffusion, and stuff like that. We were built on that. That's what this country is. But then you got other places like, other places like North Korea where you don't get a choice for religion. Matter of fact,